into the heart of Advent, chapter 8, Candles. Our Bible passage is from St Matthew's Gospel, chapter 5, verses 14 to 16, and I'm reading from the Message. You're here to be light, bringing out the God colours in the world. God is not a secret to be kept. We're going public with this, as public as a city on a hill. If I make you light bearers, you don't think I'm going to hide you under a bucket, do you? I'm putting you on a light stand. Now that I've put you there, on a hilltop, on a light stand, shine. Keep open house. Be generous with your lives. By opening up to others, you'll prompt people to open up with God, this generous Father in heaven. Jesus is very practical. Somehow I managed to live several decades of my life without even noticing this. Practical is not a word I associate with Jesus. Visionary, yes, or inspirational. When I think about it, I realise I've acquired and assembled a concept of Jesus as essentially airy-fairy. A stern and preoccupied gaze resting on the middle distance, while an inscrutable smile plays tantalisingly about his lips. 5 minutes in the company of Jesus as he actually is blows these fatuous notions clean out of the water. Jesus is down to earth. He is realistic. His spirituality plugs into the here and now, securely connecting heaven to this world, this place, these circumstances. We stand in the very small aisle running alongside the massive display of Christmas paraphernalia in the discount warehouse. It has every permutation of cheap bauble made in Hong Kong you can possibly imagine. Enough tinsel to throw twice round the moon, an assortment of wall-eyed reindeers leaning drunkenly upon each other for support, and on the shelf in front of us, a variety of LED candles. Tall pillar candles made of real wax with a flickering bulb halfway down the inside, and the imitation plastic tea lights with fitfully flickering flame-shaped bulbs on the top. I'm considering getting a box of these for the crib service. I ask him doubtfully, "What do you think? Should we have these, or is it better to have real candles?" Even as I frame the question, I think I know what his answer will be. Jesus is all about authenticity, isn't he? How likely is it, after all, that Jesus is going to pick an imitation plastic anything over the real thing? Beeswax candles clean the air as they burn, unlike paraffin wax. They release negative ions, neutralising the positive ions in fumes and dirt, so they just drop to the ground. Unlike paraffin candles, which give off more chemicals than you can shake a stick at. Beeswax smells heavenly. Paraffin candles do not. I would put money on Jesus going for nothing but ethically produced 100% pure beeswax every time without fail. But he always surprises me. Jesus is the veteran of innumerable acts of worship. As we weigh up the possibilities, he reminds me of the time we actually managed to set the sanctuary carpet on fire during the Taizé service at St George's Church in Brede, and I had to crawl about as unobtrusively as I could, whacking the tea lights with the Birkenstock sandal I'd snatched off my foot to stop the whole thing going up in a conflagration. The carpet was nylon, and the little metal holders got too hot as the wax burned down. He says, these candles are to give out to little children, right? We run various scenarios, considering the work the steward has to do after the service finishes, crawling about on his hands and knees, scraping the drips of wax off the carpet. We take a moment of silence to imagine even one little girl with long hair leaning over the lit flame to say something to her mother. Hair makes mighty fine kindling. When Jesus was a child, everyone had oil lamps or beeswax candles. Everyone cooked over the fire. Naked flames belonged to the everyday world. You drummed vigilance into every little kid as a first principle. Look what you're doing. Mind that lamp. Hold that steady, not too near. As we mull over our options now, he points out that though mass-produced plastic tea lights are hardly earth-friendly, we have to work with the people we've got, and it's always better not to set anybody on fire. Then, oh, look, he says, have you seen these ones? He's found a pack of tea lights with a plug-in charging base, so you don't have to keep getting new batteries. Jesus, I say, you're a genius. That's absolutely perfect. As we queue at the checkout, idly watching the automated penguins singing pop songs in the window display, Jesus says, you were right about real candles. I do like them best, because they come from the life of bees. They have summer in them, and they smell of honey. They are beautiful because they arise from the earth. A living flame is a sort of prayer all by itself. It's warm and vital. Everything that's alive has danger in it, is unpredictable. It can hurt you or be extinguished and quenched. It can burn a hole in the order of service. It can drip wax onto your trousers. Anything that's real and alive requires you to pay attention. But it's our turn to pay, and because this is a discount store full of cheap trash from China, the total comes in low enough for a contactless payment, which is a relief. But what? I ask him as we thank the cashier and make our way out into the night. Well, you have to be responsible and considerate about it, don't you? The crib service is for the youngest children. People should have a nice time in church. It should leave them with a happy memory. Church shouldn't hurt people, shouldn't leave them with their fingers burned. Church shouldn't leave you with scars. It's meant to include you, to be accessible and welcoming. Church is meant to be for everybody, no one left out. If that means fake candles, well, so be it. Loving is always about compromise, isn't it? You have to start with the people, surely, not with the traditions and the liturgy. Ha! We thread our way to the back of the queue, lining up by the bus shelter. I wish everyone thought like you do.